you doing, everybody? I'm Joe Harford.
And I'm Angie Keating.
And this is
Data Security Over Coffee.
very cool. So this is our last video for 2016. Coming into the end of the year, we've had a lot of really cool things go on. A lot of changes in the company and changes even with our customers and services. So that's been kind of exciting. We wrap up our 15th anniversary year.
Yes, we do. It's been a great year.
On December 12th of this year, if you want to call in and congratulate her, Angie Keating will be celebrating her 15th first day at work at Reclamere Day.
You have that recorded.
I do have that recorded. I keep useless information in my mind.
Wow, I didn't know that was the exact day.
December 12th. Because she had been fired from her employer on December 11th. So that's why she is coming to work here.
I had not.
And then also some exciting news will be rolling out in January because we're going to be beginning a brand new pivot in the organization as well around services. So we'll share some more information with you about that. I know it's Christmas season, and I know that people are kind of worried about online shopping and all kinds of scams, et cetera, and so forth. But I thought that we could probably share something a little bit more, maybe a little bit more technical, not too. Something that I think is going to be really beneficial.
Yes.
But before we get started on the serious stuff, Angie would like to thank our sponsor.
I would like to thank our sponsor, Prime Design Solutions out of Johnstown. We love Brian and Angela Law. They designed many of our websites over the years. They've been great friends of ours. And Brian worked with us at a company prior, and so we've known him for a very long time, and they've recently had some amazing growth, and we also are really proud of them for the way that they've been promoting the Johnstown region. They're a big part of that. It's a great city, and we're just really proud to partner with them and have them do a lot of our graphic design work and marketing web development.
The other thing that's really interesting about Prime Design Solutions is that Brian Law was the person who developed our logo.
Yes, he was.
From the very beginning. And what's really cool now, in going into our 16th year, he's going to be redesigning a brand new Reclamere logo for us as well. So
I can't wait. It's it's going to be better than Christmas when that email comes and we get to see the new logo.
I think so. So Brian, thumbs up to you and Angela. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you. Also, thumbs up to Connie Mastovich, who passed along the information that Angie's going to speak to today. This is from the Department of Homeland Security, and the topic is specific to locking down your login. So I'm going to start with some questions for Angie related to the topic, and why should you lock down your login? Why do the people that are going to listen today care? Why should you do that?
Well, because unfortunately, studies are showing that the most popular passwords are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Or 876543221.
Okay.
Despite all of the data breaches, all of the warnings, but the good thing is that many sites now have something called two-factor authentication. And it's really something that can go a long way in protecting you. Not every site has it. I really wish Netflix had it, because just last night I found out that someone from Mexico and Colombia had been watching movies in my account.
Nice.
But I'm pretty sure that had something to do with having a college-age kid. Not sure.
Your college-age kid is Mexican or Colombian?
No, he's not.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just checking.
But they sometimes have a tendency to share passwords.
Okay.
All right. So this is really a subject that is very important to me because, as you know, many of the security incidents that we respond to have to do with poor password practices. We work with clients that have tremendous IT security people on their staff. However, weak passwords can negate all of the technology, all of the processes, all of the hard work that they do every single day to keep an environment safe.
Okay. So you use the terminology of two-factor authentication.
Yes.
So my first question is, for those of us that are challenged like I am, what do you mean by two-factor authentication? And then what is strong authentication?
Well, two-factor authentication is based on a theory of something you have and something you know. Now, one-factor authentication is what we use every day with a username and password.
Okay.
The password is what we know.
All right.
However, people can guess that. And unfortunately, we are sharing so much information on social media that if someone does decide to target us, and this is especially valuable information for CEOs, people in the public eye, and people that have financial control of organizations, controllers, treasurers, office managers. They're high value targets where a lot of information can be gleaned from their Facebook pages, their social media, to find out what they're interested in and start to try to guess these passwords. And it's not a human being sitting there typing them in.
Right.
These are sophisticated programs that you can go out on the dark web and buy that will do what's called a brute force attack. It will just keep sitting there and keep trying password after password after password after password. So what's really important about two-factor authentication is it uses something you have. Now, a lot of us are familiar with this and don't even know, because when you go to the bank, or if you've ever been in a government office where people are wearing a little token around their neck,
Right.
they're little tokens that have a number that changes constantly. That's one of the most secure forms of two-factor authentication. It's also very expensive and used mainly by very large organizations. So for a long time, that was only really who could afford to use it and who used it. But it's now to the point where if you have a smartphone, you can use two-factor authentication. And that is where the application, such as Facebook or your Gmail, any account that you can lock down, all of social media now has this available, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything. They will send you a text message with a special one-time code that after you put your password in, you then put this special code in. And without that special code, which will change if you don't enter it within a certain period of time, you can't get into the account.
Okay.
Now, I want to make something very clear, because we do have not only people like yourself where, technology is a means to get your job done, but you would not consider yourself a geek with really in-depth technical knowledge.
Right.
But we also have the other end of the spectrum, very knowledgeable IT people, security experts that tune in. And so I want to stress the fact that even though the National Institutes for Standards and Technology have recently come out and said that the text message sent to your phone is not good enough, I don't want the message to be lost that they're talking about good enough for high security applications.
Right. Okay.
For those of us in our normal day-to-day life, it is absolutely one of the best things that you can do.
Okay.
And it is way better than simply having the password. So my biggest concern right now with that draft publication that the National Institutes for Standards and Technology has put out, that the message is going to be lost, that we're really talking about Homeland Security and super high-end types of security on really mission critical types of applications.
Okay.
It is still great. And then the final way is biometrics, thumbprint, iris, all of those types of things are that second form of identification over and above the password.
Okay. So is, in 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or what have you, how does somebody go ahead and turn this on? How do they do this?
Well, there are a couple ways. One is you can go to the University of Google, type in two-factor authentication, and then whatever program you're thinking about.
Okay.
Two-factor authentication on Microsoft Office, two-factor authentication on Facebook, two-factor authentication on LinkedIn. Whatever it is, you can type it in, and there will be a YouTube video out there where someone will show you exactly how to turn it on.
Okay.
That's one way. But the second way is that the Department of Homeland Security, as part of the Cybersecurity Action Program that was launched as part of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, they have some really great information. In fact, there is a website, we're going to have the details in the comments, called lockdownyourlogin.com, where you can go, and it will also have answers to a lot of the questions. Some of you may be wondering, well, is this really safe enough? If I have biometrics, what happens to my data? Does someone now have my fingerprint on file somewhere? They have a great FAQ section to help you understand all of these things. And it's really important that not only that you do this, but that you share this information. And it's also especially important for our corporate folks who are watching. You know, this is not just about personal use of devices. Many of your employees, many of your team members are using their personal devices either in the organization, or they're using their personal devices at home to log into your systems. So good security for individuals is also good security for corporations. So it's really important. And the other thing that I always point out is that it's really important that your security awareness training have some real relevance to the people you're teaching.
Sure.
It's not just about protecting the organization. Good security is good security is good security.
I hope it's been helpful. I know that we use two-factor authentication here at Reclamere.
Yes, we do.
With all of our accounts. So, and for someone who is often challenged by technology, I can tell you that it's not that difficult to do. If I can do it, anybody out there can do it. So we wrap up our 15th year anniversary. We're very thankful for Prime Design Solutions to be a sponsor.
Yes,
Angie's coming up on her 15th anniversary here on December 12th. And, we've had a really great year. So, in conclusion, thanks for watching. We'll be back next year, and I hope that all of you enjoy your holiday season. Thanks.